Hi guys, my name is Christine, and today I'm talking about self-care is dumb. Okay, so first of all, I want to get into the whole self-care, what I believe is usually used for. Okay, and why I think the common notion of like, oh, self-care is really ridiculous and stupid and dumb. Okay, so when I see people talking about self-care, what I see are people that are trying to use self care as an excuse to spend too much money, to eat unhealthily, um, and to be over lazy, right? To just slack off, essentially. Okay. Now, obviously, it's okay to have some days where you do that kind of thing, where you do have a lazy day. It's okay to have a rest day, essentially, right? Because you see that a lot in the sort of like the exercise world and the gym world, you've got to have a rest day. Okay. But if you're doing things like overeating or over drinking and taking in any other kind of substance, or you're just wasting your time, essentially, that isn't self care. And the reason I know this, at least from my perspective, is whenever I have a day that's sort of like that, I feel rubbish by the end of that day. Like if I had a day where, because I had a day recently where my wife was unwell, okay, and we spent a lot of the day inside, okay. Now, obviously, it couldn't be helped because my wife was unwell, but I felt really crummy after that day because we was eating stuff that we shouldn't really have been eating. We was watching a lot of TV. She was ill, so we couldn't really go out and do anything, and I didn't feel like I should be away from her or anything like that to go and do something myself. So it felt like a bad day. Okay, and ultimately it was a kind of like a self care day, like a lot of people say about self care, like, oh, you gotta just have a little have that slice of cake, girl, you deserve it, right? Watch Netflix, watch your favorite show all day, you'll deserve it. Okay, you should buy yourself that perfume that costs £50. You deserve it. No, do you do though? Like it's like, oh my god, it just shows that this is like an excuse to just do bad things for yourself, okay? And when I've had days like that where I've either overspent on something, or I've overeaten, where I've watched too much Netflix, where I haven't done anything productive, where I haven't exercised, I feel rubbish. I feel like a day has been gone and it's just wasted, okay? Now, other people may do that thing, get the kind of thing, and feel refreshed, and you know what, fine, more power to you. But in my personal opinion, self care done in that way is dumb, and I don't like it. So what's real self care then, in my opinion? So, first of all, I wouldn't call it self care. I would call it something like a self refresh. Okay, so when you're having a day where if you feel like you really need to be rejuvenated, and you kind of like have that sort of like desire to just sort of like rest and relax, instead of just relaxing and that kind of thing, try and find a way to get more inspired, because one of the things that I think a lot of people do when they want to do like these self-care things is that they've gone through a stage of burnout, or they're going through a stage of burnout, and they feel crummy about themselves, and they're tired and they're exhausted. So what I would say is have a, like what I just said, like a refresh day. But that doesn't mean that you sit around and do nothing, or you eat loads of junk food and fill your blood with sugar and things like that, or just sit around. I think one of the things that can really help you feel more refreshed is having a bit of exercise, finding a way to get more inspired. So, like listening to inspirational music or journaling, and things like that, and having something nutritious to eat, doing something that is productive, or something that feels good for your soul. Like maybe it could be drawing or painting a picture or something like that, or doing something creative. So you're not just letting your brain switch off, you're actually using it in a different way to feel more refreshed and more inspired. So that's one of the things that I personally like to do. I like to do a little doodle, do something artistic, or listen to music, write down something, like something inspirational, or try and create something, like do a bit of writing, um, a journal, that kind of thing. And that tends to help me feel more refreshed, because I've had that time to like get myself inspired, and to get myself to feel ambitious again, and to feel more rejuvenated and things like that. So that's what I would do instead of like this whole self-care thing, where a lot of people use self-care as an excuse to treat themselves and eat too much that they're not supposed to eat, and to overspend, and all of the other things that I've listed, right? It's better to have a self refresh, right? And to get inspired again. Like one of the great thing that you can do to help you feel more inspired is to try and think of a new goal that's really, really exciting, that really excites you. So it could be like an exercise goal, or it could be like a goal for work or for your side business, or it could be an artistic goal, something like that, something like really cool that would like really excite you. Because a lot of the time when you're experiencing things like burnout, and you're feeling like really sluggish, and you feel like every day sort of like draining into one, and you kind of want to feel something more. Because essentially when people are having like these issues where they feel like they need to have self-care, it's because they're sort of being brought down by this like the monotony of life. So if you can think of ways that can make you more inspired again by like creating a new exciting goal for yourself, that can really help you like get pumped up and excited again for life and for your week or whatever it may be that you're about to face, and to get you pumped, right? To be like, oh yeah, that's going to be really fun, that's going to be really exciting, I can't wait for that, I can't wait to do these things. Now, of course, it's okay to have days, right, to where you sort of slack off. You shouldn't feel bad about yourself if you have one day here and there. Let's say like it happens once or twice a month where you do eat loads of sugar, or watch too much Netflix, or play too many video games, or spend half the day in the bath, or whatever, right? It's okay, obviously, to do these things, right? But you shouldn't be calling that kind of thing self-care, because I don't feel like I've taken care of myself when I've had a day like that. That's not taking care of yourself, because if you really look at the word self-care, it's essentially taking care of yourself. And how would you take care of your, let's say, your dog, or someone that you love, someone like a person that you love, right? If you were if someone that you loved was under your care, whether it's a dog, whether it's a person, whatever it may be, or another animal, right? You would make sure that they ate nutritious food. You would make sure that they got a bit of exercise. You would make sure that they were doing something that was mentally engaging and helping them, right? Essentially, right? You wouldn't be telling them to pig out in front of the TV. You wouldn't be telling them to buy an expensive holiday, or another kind of expensive purchase, and because they're trying to fill a void, right? You should be trying to get them to fill the void themselves, rather than using something external like food, TV, new expensive purchases to fill the void. You should be trying to get them to fill the void in a more healthier, more stable way, such as exercising, appreciating beauty by taking them out for a walk in a nice like nature place or something like that, or getting them to listen to some nice music, or getting them to do something artistic, something that's going to really help them, something that's going to make them feel better about themselves, or to journal and things like that. You'll be trying to get them to do things that are going to be beneficial to them. Now, this might just be my opinion, that just might be my view on it, that may just be my take, right? Maybe some people feel really, really rejuvenated after a day of slacking off, and that's fine, if that makes you feel good. But I'm here to talk about what I want to talk about, right? So that's just my personal opinion on self-care. I think it's really dumb, and I think a self-refresh is a better way to put it, a better way to explain it, to actually make you feel really, really refreshed and good about yourself after you've got to a point in your life where you feel like you need one, right? Where you feel like you need self-care, you feel like you need to have some time to just unwind. Those are some better ways to do it, in my opinion. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christinelovich.com, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.